Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be working on the rear diff on the DHK Maximus. I got some parts here. So this is the replacement crown gear. I got two of them just in case the front gives out. Today I'm going to be working on the back. So the part number for this one, it's right here. This is the crown gear. And I'm also going to be replacing the pinion gear, which is this thing here. And the part number for that, it's right there. I also got two of that. And I also got a cooling fan for the motor, because this whole time I don't have a cooling fan because the cooling fan recently broke off, or it had been broken off during the past few years when I was bashing this truck. And also, I'm going to be replacing the front diff on a JOB Cheetah, so make sure to subscribe. So that way you guys could be up to date with the future uploads that I'm going to be doing for this truck. Got a replacement part here, front diff, and also the pinion gear inside the diff housing. I got two extra Dumbo receivers for future projects. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off these 4 screws, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so once you've taken the 4 screws off, you could simply just pop this open, just like that, and then you put this to the side. So now that you have this part here that needs to be replaced, all you gotta do is just push this out like that. And now you have the old crown gear. So here's the new crown gear. It comes with this plastic part that you can replace, but I'm not going to use this new one because the old one is still good enough. And plus, the old one still has the seal on it. It still has everything attached to it, and there's also grease on it already. So, and the bearing is there, the cup is there, so I don't really need to disassemble this. All I got to do is just transfer it over to the new gear, and it should fit snug just like that. So now, you take this part, put it back together, line up the holes, screw it in. And there you have it. New crown gear on the diff. Still pretty tidy. Nice. So now let's work on the pinion gear inside the diff housing. To get this pinion gear out, all you gotta do is just take the back of a screwdriver and just hit it out. It should look like this. Now I have a replacement part already, which is here. But since everything here is still good, the cup is not really bad, the bearings are not popped, it's only the pinion gear that needs to be replaced. And the replacement part comes with the pinion gear, so I'm just going to replace this. And I'm also going to replace this Phillips screw with a much better one. Here's the screw. It's kind of tapered, so I have one that is not tapered. And you just slide the pinion gear up. And there's also a pin right here that just fell out, which is this thing. Put that to the side. Take this off. There's a washers in between the bearings that I recently put before because it was having a lot of play, but it does not come with the washer or a shim, if you want to call it that. It's usually just the bearing in here, just like that, with the pin on it. So I'll put this to the side, and we're gonna take a look at the new pinion gear. So here's a look at the new versus the old. If you notice, the teeth come all the way to the edge, and then the old one, it's like rounded. It's So that's what's making all that clacking noise. So let's replace this. So you take the cup. If you guys have shims or washers, I highly suggest you putting it in there. So I'll put one of my washers in here, or a shim, and then I'll put a bearing in, and then I'll put in another washer or shim. And if you guys want to know where I got these from, it's actually washers from the crown gear inside of the old differential JLB Cheetah diff. That's where I got this from. And once I put that in, I want to put the pin back in. So pin back goes in. And then this bigger bearing goes right over everything, just like that. So it should look like that. And then the new crown gear, since it has that cut, is to accommodate with the pin. Put that in there, twist it around, and it should be nice and easy. Now if you notice, there's a little bit of play. I'm guessing that's why it rounded off the gear in the first place. There's a tiny bit of play. There was more play before I put in the shim, but since I put in the shim, there's a tiny bit of play, and I'm guessing that's okay. So now I'm gonna put in a screw. And this is the screw I'm using. If you guys are wondering where I got this screw from, it's from the old diff of the JLB Cheetah's diff. It's that screw right there, the 4 screw on top. So I took it out of the old diff and I dremeled it down a little bit to the desired length for this, and it actually works because I've done this before. So I'll start it in a little bit, just like that. Now before I put it in all the way, I'm gonna apply some Loctite. There you go, that's tight enough. Alright, so now putting this back in, just push this back in, just like that. And there you have it. A new pinion gear inside a diff housing. And then from here you put the diff back in. And this is where people make mistakes, guys. The crown gear goes on the left side. If you put this the other way, your wheels is gonna spin opposite. So yeah, crown gear goes on the left side, just like that. And just by spinning it, I could already tell it's running really smooth. And then from here, just close up the gearbox, screw it all in, and you're basically done with replacing the crown gear and pinion gear. Alright guys, here we have it, the finishing product. I put the diff back on, put everything back on. I put the fan on the motor, relocated the ESC back to its original spot, just because the fan was in the way. And I put a little bit of extension here so it could clear the wires for the steering link. And that's basically it, guys. So I'm gonna turn this on. The fan's working. Yeah, it kind of clears the kind of clear the wire. I mean, It pushes a little bit, but that's okay. I use Velcro to hold the ESC in place. And yeah, let's alright. It's all working again. That's it, guys. So I just want to wish you guys a good day. Be safe, like and subscribe. And as always, cheers.